Everybody smiles in the same language. A smile, let your light come shining through.
Welcome to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. I'm Sandra M., coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the land of enchantment. I interview people from all parts of the world about what happiness means to them. What are they in love with? In each episode, we'll give you a key to happiness to include in your life. And of course, we'll play a happy tune from my live Celebrate Happiness Roadshow.
A smile doesn't cost you anything. But there's so much good.
Welcome to the second season of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And don't forget to catch up on any episodes from season 1 you might have missed. Today we're talking with James Dybas, who is a seasoned American actor, singer, and dancer born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and whose career spans Broadway, regional theater, television, and film. Beginning his artistic journey in Chicago after receiving a scholarship to study dance with the renowned teacher Edna McRae, James launched his professional career performing in musical revues at Chicago's Edgewater Beach and Del Prado hotels. After moving to New York City, he made his Broadway debut in the 1965 Richard Rodgers Stephen Sondheim musical, Do I Hear a Waltz? And his subsequent Broadway credits include George M., Via Galactica, 42nd Street, Sunset Boulevard, The Scarlet Pimpernel, and Pacific Overtures, in which he originated the Stephen Sondheim song Someone in a Tree, which Mr. Sondheim has said is his favorite of all his compositions. In addition to his stage work, James has also appeared in films such as Private Benjamin and in several television series, including Miami Vice. He has also contributed to the performing arts community by hosting events for the Dancers Over 40 organization and teaching musical theater audition techniques at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City. Currently, James resides in New York City, where he continues to engage with the arts, reflecting on a career enriched by diverse and challenging roles across multiple performance mediums. James is a world traveler and is passionate about exploring countries of all around the world, China being his next destination this fall. James' life mantra is suit up, show up, and say yes. Welcome, James, to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. I am so excited to talk with you about happiness. And why is it so important in your life?
Well, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to chat with you today, Sandra. We've known each other for a long time, and it makes me happy that we've kept in touch across the miles for all these years.
Yes, I mean we were in acting class together way back when, right?
Absolutely, in the 60s, so we go back a while.
Yeah, and you've done so much with your life, and I just wanted to reach out and say, I know that you're such a positive person, and you influenced me so much in the past and with your own positive, happy approach to life. And so could you share some of your concepts of why happiness is important to you and how it manifests?
Sure. Sandra, I try to approach life as an experiment, to be curious and willing and to try things this way and that way, because either way, we have nothing to lose. So I feel that being flexible is really important. When some things don't work out, I try not to fret about it. If it's time for something to flourish, it will. And if it's not time, it won't. The trick is, for me, not getting caught up in hope and fear, to just go forward with curiosity. Wondering where wondering where this experiment is going to lead me. And I really try to keep it simple. A clean house, trust that the universe will provide, and help others. That's kind of been a mantra of mine. Keep it simple. And a friend of mine said to me one time, she said, James, start each day with a grateful heart. Enjoy the little things in life. So what I do in the morning is I write a gratitude list and stay in the now. Have you ever read Eckhart Tolle's book of The Power of Now?
I did, yes, and it's really amazing. It's very hard to stay present and in the now, right?
Well, I have to keep not pushing, but making sure that I love this saying that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present.
Yes.
We call and I try to stay out of what I call the wreckage of my future. Not to go to the negative, to have the positive attitude and know that, all of these years, after all this time and working in show business as I have all of my life, things have always seemed to work out. If I just trust that the universe has my back. And my work has taken me across the country. I made wonderful friends along the way. I feel also that connecting with friends makes me happy. I think that it's important, as we age, to have a sense of community. And it's so easy these days with social media and texts and WhatsApp to talk to friends, even my friends across the pond in London and in South Africa and places abroad. So I think that connecting with others is really very important. And also, like I said in the morning, I think having gratitude. And we take for granted so many things that are just a part of our daily lives. The fact that we have eyesight, that we can use our limbs, that we're able to speak. I just every day say, wow, 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 thank you. Thank you to my higher power for giving me the abundance in my life and to connect with, I try to read something that enlightens my soul every day, first thing in the morning and also before I go to bed at night. Wayne Dyer, Joseph Campbell. There's so many others that have wonderful books, which helps me to cultivate a loving kindness toward myself.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
Let me just ask, because a lot of many of our listeners might not know who Joseph Campbell or Wayne Dyer really are. I mean, how do they inspire you? I know that Joseph Campbell is into myth, right?
Yes.
And having to create new myths. And Wayne Dyer, I'll let you explain how he influenced you.
Well, they're just, what they have to say is about bringing positivity into your life. And it's very often I think it's really important to help others. When I get off of my own thing, and I try to reach out and somebody else, helping even in small ways, that can create fulfillment for me. And I mean, just walking somebody across the street who's infirm here in New York City. We walk all the time. Just something, helping somebody, or helping a mother with her carriage or stroller onto the bus. You feel like you're being of service on some level, and you're doing something for somebody else. I mean, the other day, this is talk about happy moments. The other day I got on the bus and the mother was there with her child in a stroller, and the little kid was shaking his rattle and peeping behind a balloon and everything. And I looked up at the mother and I kind of mimed, "Can I play?" So she said, "Sure." She shook her head, and I took his little rattle and I rattled it in front of him and then hid behind the balloon with him. So, it's just little things like that where you can spread joy, and it just gives me such a great feeling of happiness, of course. Doing what I do.
And
doing what I do on the stage makes me happy. I mean, who did I ever know when I was a young man studying that I would be dancing with Ginger Rogers? I mean, and which I did for a whole summer tour, and we became wonderful friends. I had no idea this movie star that I saw as a young man, as a kid in the movie theaters, I was now working with and dancing together with. It's just amazing. If we just keep ourselves open on a daily basis and let the universe come into us, there's a lot of rosy possibilities.
Let me say that again. Keep ourselves open on a daily basis.
Yes.
And let what did you say? The roses
let the universe come in and guide us through the day, because there are a lot of rosy possibilities out there every day. I mean, when I leave my apartment,
rosy possibilities.
Yes. And when I leave
that.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do, Sandra. When I leave my apartment at the beginning of the day and get out into the streets of New York City, I think to myself, what wonderful adventures are in store for me today? What's going to happen? And I just allow it to happen and make the best of every moment. And also, it's, how can I say this? Being happy doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It means, go ahead.
No, I just was agreeing with you.
Right. It means that I've chosen to look beyond the imperfections and know that there are, again, I'll say it again, a lot of rosy possibilities waiting for me out there every day. And I think for me, the secret of being happy is accepting where I am in life and making the most of every day. And I cannot be happy every minute of the day, of course, because life throws us a lot of left curves. And many times I've just had to surrender and just let go.
So here's a point. I wanted to just tag up on that, because when life throws you a curve, I've just been listening to the Dalai Lama's Book of Joy, and he's having a discussion with Desmond Tutu, who's now deceased.
Yes.
And they're talking about perspective and how it's much easier to change your perspective than it is necessarily to change your emotions. So something happens that maybe is not, as you say, throws you a curve,
right.
But you can look at that if you can just create a little distance and look at that and say, wait a minute, let me look at that from a different angle. And see if there's something that there's a lesson in that, because most of us have so much programming that's gone on in our lives, it's in our subconscious mind, and we just react.
Right.
But as you say, if we can just take a moment and reflect, you know, you have so many wonderful sayings, and I've written them down. Keep it simple.
Right.
Now, when you think about, you know, what we hear is keep it simple, stupid, right?
No, somebody once said that to me, and I said, don't call me stupid. I don't like to be called stupid. He said, okay, keep it simple, Slick. Keep it simple, Slick.
Right.
So
right. Keep it simple. But what does it really mean to you?
Well,
keep it simple.
Well, to me, it means not letting my mind go, you know, all those noises buzzing in my head, telling me I'm not enough, things will never go my way, all blah, 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 blah. Again, it's about surrendering and trusting that the universe has your back. I have a saying. Do you remember Gracie Allen, who she was?
Yes.
Anyhow, she has a saying. I have this saying that's attributed to her that says, never place a period where God has placed a comma. You know?
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? And a friend of mine said to one time we were talking about, you know, left curves and things that happen in our lives where we have to let go. And he said, you know, don't cry because something's over. Smile because it happened, and hopefully you'll learn from the experience.
Right.
So
which is changing your perspective.
Exactly.
Right? Learning from this.
Yes.
Yes. And so keeping it simple seems also to me staying in the present, going back to our concept about Eric Tolle, right?
Yes.
If you keep it simple, it's easier to stay in the present and really, because absolutely, in my opinion, life, that's all there really is the present. I mean, that's where we live, in the present.
Right. And as I've heard it said, you know, happiness doesn't depend on who I am or what I have. It depends solely on my mindset, my attitude. It's an inside job, and life is full of surprises. And the thing is that the surprises happen, and you go with the flow.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
Which is not easy for most people to do because our society is just set up for everybody is comparing themselves to everybody else and competing. And in show business, it's all about auditioning, right? And competing against other people. So you can't help but fall into that mindset. It's very hard, you know, oh, she does a better what?
But, you know, well, the thing is, you compare and despair. You can't compare, because, you know, and you just have to, as the song goes, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Because, Sandra, I have survived 100% of my worst days. And I have to remember that when something comes up and I think, wow, oh, how am I going to get through this? And I say, James, don't forget, you have survived 100% of your worst days.
Right, because you're still alive, right?
Right, yes. Hello. And moving forward all the time.
Yes. This is
and also if I'm feeling a little down, I collect jokes one-liners. So if I'm feeling down about, there are a couple of ways that I get myself going. I love to play music. I put on some wonderful music and I move. Now, I think it's important to move your body. To move your body and release the endorphins. And even a 10-minute walk can boost your mood, which we walk here in New York City all the time. And I look up at the blue sky when it's blue. It's been raining for a week, but when it's sunny and blue, I look up at the sky and say, it's a big, wide, wonderful world that we live in. You know, I went to see a musical the other day on Broadway. It's called Boop, based on the animated character Betty Boop.
Yes.
And there's a wonderful song in the show called what is the name of that song? It'll come to me in a moment. Oh, it's called. I know. Okay. It's called Why Look Around the Corner, and it goes, why look around the corner when it's all right here? Why waste the day thinking, hey, what about next year? Too many ifs and maybes whispering into your ear. Why look around the corner when it's all right here? You know?
Wow. Which is the same thing as I keep coming back to Eckhart Tolle and being present. Right. Why look around the corner when it's all right here in the present? Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And today's a gift. So, that's why we call it the present.
The present. So when we think about it, if you're going to say that we can't be happy all the time, no.
Right.
But we can have a perspective around being a creator of our own happiness in our own life. As you said, it's an inside job. And it just seems to me that you have spent a great deal of self-reflection and work on yourself, not only as a creator, as an actor, a dancer. You are a creator on the stage, but you're also creating in your life. You're creating your life so that it works for you. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they can create their life, that they're not a victim of their circumstances.
Absolutely.
Or their fate is.
Absolutely.
Right. Let's hear some thoughts on that.
Well, I'll tell you, I really like to. It is a choice. I can choose today whether I'm going to have a happy, joyous, and free kind of life, or if I'm going to be the victim. And I'll tell you something, Sandra, I never have been, nor do I ever want to be, a victim about something. I can always find ways to lift myself up and to spread a little joy. I think it's really, really important to be of service. It always makes me happy. I've volunteer at an organization here in New York called DeRote, and I get to deliver meals and goodies to seniors who are homebound. And we get to visit for a little bit times, and it always makes me feel happy and good that I've helped in some small way, to somebody else. Because that's what I do. That's right. And I have a lot of wonderful friends. Again, community, so important. As I said, that my work has taken me across the country, and I've made wonderful friends along the way. Connection with friends makes me really happy. My friend is coming over this evening. She and I are going to have dinner and watch something that I've taped on television. I mean, we enjoy each other's company. I think that's another thing, to be with other people who are positive. Don't let somebody drag you down or zap you of your energy. Be with positive friends who, are fun to be with.
Okay, so here's a big question I have for you.
Yeah.
Because we're living in, April 2025, where a lot of chaos is happening in life for many, many people. And so do you have any ideas or thoughts how we can get out of the idea that we are just have no control? We're victims to our world as it stands now. So many people have so many negative thoughts about their future, especially young people. Do you have some ideas for these people?
Well, I think it's important to, as I say, suit up, show up, and say yes. I think it's important that our voices are heard. We have to do whatever we can and have some solidarity. I went to the protest march here last week in New York City. There were thousands and thousands of people in the streets, and that was our small way of making our voices. We knew that the world was watching, and all the cities across the world were doing the same thing. So we have to, I think, take charge. We can't just sit back and let it happen. You've got to, if it means calling your congressman or woman, calling the people, let them know what your concerns are and participate. You can't just sit back and let it happen. I think you have to participate as best you can. I was writing letters to swing states at one point, a postcard swing states. So we can all do a little bit of something to let our voices be heard. Don't just sit back. It's like, I won't go. I don't want to get into politics, Sandra, because we're talking about happiness now.
But yes, but it does make you happy when you have your voice heard, when you know that you can speak out, right? It's a very important thing to be able to speak out and
like
take
showing
yourself
up
out of the victim.
Yes, I mean, just showing up at this protest. I wasn't speaking, but there I was as part of the solidarity of this protest. And I think we all have a responsibility to do that, if we want to have a modicum of happiness, joy, and freedom in our lives.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
So again, we move back to our perspective. We move back to being in the now, what we can do, never taking a victim's point of view, but an inside job of creating our own well-beingness, right? Moving forward. And I just think you have had so many wonderful comments. I'm just reviewing. I've written a lot of these statements down, but I keep going back to there are many rosy possibilities out there.
Yes.
So yes, even though we are living in turbulent times, etc., we can also, for our own individual lives, waking up every morning, being grateful with a grateful heart, starting each day with a grateful heart, keeping ourselves in a mindset that there are many rosy possibilities out there for us if we allow the universe to come in. So we have to stay with our own personal life, and then there's the community, etc. And I just think you have done such a, I've known you for a long time, and I know how important creativity is in actors' lives, in dancers, etc. The whole concept of being creative, bringing that into your actual real life. In other words, not for the stage, but for the stage of life, like the theater of life. Let's put it this way. So being creative in our own life, taking charge, making our life something that is meaningful, that is positive for us. I know that you do that. And I want to say that when we met many, many years ago, you did that for me. You did that for me. Yes. And
well, I remember
meaningful.
I remember many happy times together, and we did have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs.
Right. And so are there any last words you'd like to leave for our listeners?
Well, how about this? Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Take off that gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You'll look so good that you'll be glad you decided to smile.
Thank you. That lifted my heart.
Thank you, Sandra. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
Monthly Keys to Happiness. Create a thought list. Take control of your thoughts. At the start of each month, make a short list of happy memories or things you're looking forward to on a small piece of paper or on your phone.
And when you find yourself waiting for a ride, standing in line at the grocery store, or just with a few minutes to kill, break out the list.
You can even use it when you're just generally feeling down and need to change up your thoughts.
Newsflash. Please sign up for your copy of our Keys to Happiness at sandramcknight.com. Thank you for tuning in to Season 2 of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And if you enjoyed the conversation, please help spread the word by sharing with your friends and family. Before we go, I'd like to thank today's guest, James Dybas, for sharing his happiness story. And to share your happiness story on the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast, send an email to sandra@sandramcknight.com.
Turn your smile on, you can't go wrong. You'll find that love is all around.